Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today we're making the black olive herb and tomato vinaigrette, which is for a grilled sea bass. Now I couldn't find sea bass, so I couldn't use that. So I asked them what could I use in place of it, and they gave me flounder. So I'm going to be broiling flounder, but right now we're going to make this vinaigrette. Now you're going to get 2 medium tomatoes, and you're going to quarter them, and then they want you to squeeze the juice out of them, or the seeds as they would say. I'm doing that right now. My phone turned itself off. I don't know why it does it sometimes, but my phone is picky. Like squeezing the juice like that, you get the seeds out. So when they say seeded, that's exactly what they mean. We're going to squeeze the juice out. Now they want us to chop this, I think, dice small. So they want you to cut this really, really small. See, I've already squeezed mine. So they want us to cut this really small and dice it up. So if you can't find sea bass and you want to use a different fish, you can use flounder. That's what I'm using. Like I said, they said no, people don't like sea bass, and he says it's very rare that we get it in the store. When I do buy it, the few people who get it, the rest of it I have to throw it out, so it doesn't make sense. And I can understand that. There's another fish store I could go to. It's privately owned. But I wouldn't go there because of what he did. My husband had passed, and that man came up to my sons and told them to get me a man to go to bed because your mother needs to feel that feeling again. I'm being polite with what I said, but he was quite vulgar with his words. And my son just looked at him in shock. And when one of my sons got to me before the other one did, and he told me what he said, I said, who in the name of God does he think he has a right to step into my relationship? This man's mind is so dirty, he couldn't clean it up. He was a dirty old man. I never went back to that fish store. He said some horrible things when my husband wasn't standing next to me when we were in the store. I should have told my husband what he said, but I was so embarrassed. I said, oh my God. I didn't like him. And the worst thing is he was a Korean. And my husband had fought along Koreans. He was just a dirty old man. He had very little respect for women. I'm not saying he had to cow down to me or anything, but give me the respect of my title of being my husband's wife. And when I'm in mourning, I mean, he comes and says, you got to get fucked. I said, who in the hell? I shouldn't say things like this on the video. I just didn't believe he said it. I was so mad. What I wanted to do to him. I bought the fish and I walked out and I never looked back. I don't know where he comes up where he thinks he's God to tell women what to do. And they're not, these women are married, and he talks like this to them, and they don't come back. That's not how you run a business. You don't talk like that to your customers. That's why I'm careful where I go for fish, because you know a lot of Asians do have fish stores, and I'm not comfortable because I don't know what's going to be said. so I do apologize. When I have fish, I think of his dirty-minded words, and I just want to rip his mouth off. But his time will come and he will suffer. And when he does, you can think about what he said to all those women. I was just one of many. Now in this bowl, we're going to add, I am not using my kelp, I'm using my iodized sea salt because of what we're going to do with it. Sandra, you gotta get your head together sometimes. I'm going to put 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt in this, and you're going to toss these around. I know you're saying, why? You're coating them with salt. Then we're going to put them in a strainer. And you're going to put this to the side and let it sit for 30 minutes. So I will be back in 30 minutes because they have to sit that long. That's all you're doing is coating it with salt. And the salt, I'll tell you what the salt's doing so you have an idea. It's going to draw some extra liquid out of it. At least that's what it should do. There's a lot of liquid in those things. The salt will extract the juices from the tomatoes, making the tomato bits denser and more intensively flavored, and the juices will incorporate into the sauce that we make. Okay, so we've got 30 minutes of that resting. Oh, let's see, how do I do this? Okay, they say in a blender or a grinder, put in 1/4 of a cup of olive oil, which I've already done. It's already here. Now I got oil cured olives. We need these to be pitted, and we need 1/2 cup. Oh, they're going to be easy. You just squeeze the pits out. I thought I was going to have to put them. You're going to take all the pits out, and you want 1/2 cup of these. I'm just squeezing them when the pit comes out, which is really neat. Well, this one doesn't want to. Anyway. We need 1/2 cup of these, so I might use the whole jar. I don't know yet. Now here's one that went real easy. Some of them you can squeeze and the pit will come out, or you can just cut it open with your nail. It comes out, and then other ones are not budging an inch. But we need 1/2 cup. So this recipe is actually the vinaigrette. You're learning a vinaigrette that goes over grilled or broiled fish. I have never had these olives before. This is a first for me. Like this. Never had them like this. They did have much shahadis like this, but I didn't pay much mind to them. Now when we blend this, this is only to a few seconds or so because they just want to chop it up into small pieces. So if you want to use a knife, I guess you could, but the skin's a little rubbery and they want you to do it with olive oil. I would use my pitter, but some of them come out so easy it doesn't make sense to use a pitter. Sandy, why did you throw the seed in there? Because Sandy doesn't have her head screwed on, right? Go on, you can say it. I have my days. One's easy to come out. This one's not. This one's going to fight me. We're getting there, slowly. Oh, now this one does not want to come out. You can actually feel the difference in these olives. Some of them are real easy to come out, and then some of them just don't want to come out at all. And other ones just pop right out, which makes it easy. We're going to use, I guess, about half a jar, so we could actually repeat this if we wish one more time. Now they say when you serve this, you pour this over the fish, and then you put some on the side of the fish. Now, they don't talk about anything else being served with this, but I am probably going to serve yellow squash with this. And the rolls that I made, which are crescent, poppy crescent rolls. These things are huge. They're really big. Almost. And I'm going to try. Got some canning I have to do. I hope to get that done today. I don't know if I'm going to get it done or not. Maybe tomorrow, but I hope today. Because both my sons said they're going out today. Well, I said, are you eating before you go out? One says, I don't know. The other one says, definitely I'm eating before I go out. But I just don't know. Okay. We used half a jar. What size jar was this? 7 ounces. Till we find a smaller jar. Okay, let's get these. Yes, I'm a slow cooker. This is a new recipe too. How long do you want me to pulse this? They want us to pulse it for about 8 seconds until the olives are finely minced. So you're just going to have to watch them. You don't want them in a paste, but you want them minced. This little thing. Okay, it's chopped. Okay, it goes this way. That other one goes the other way. Okay. And this is a Cuisinart, a mini prep plus. To a mixing bowl and add the remaining 1/4 cup olive oil. That's fine. I've got that one going. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to add another 1/4 of a cup of oil, olive oil. I need this towel here. Let's see. Maybe I should just move my book over here so I can just see what I'm doing. So I have to walk back and forth. It's a skinny little book, but it's got such wonderful recipes in it. Okay. All right, we're gonna need 2 small cloves of garlic crushed. What is he barking about now? I'm trying to make room, but there just isn't a lot here, so I do apologize. And I need a big knife to mash these. When they say crush, they do mean crush. That's exactly what they want you to do. Crushed. Easy enough, it wasn't it? Okay, what else do they want me to put in here? Half the basil. That's 1/4 cup of basil. I had a 1/4 of a cup here. Where did I put it? Did I do it? Yeah, all right. They want fresh basils. I got them yesterday. Basils don't last long in the house. Never have with me. So let me pull this down and see what I can get. Sorry, I'm getting basil right now. Okay. I'll get back to that in a bit. Are you going to pull all these leaves off? I need a 1/4 of this. We're going to rinse them, don't worry. I'll get another colander out. That needs to be rinsed. All right, we're gonna julienne these, and I'll show you what it means when they say julienne. You have to know, like I said, you have to know these terminologies so you know exactly what you're doing. Come on, I'm gonna use it again, just throw you over there. Notice how I'm lining all the leaves up, lining them all right side up. So you understand julienne. As you can see, they're falling out of my hands too. Okay. Julienne just means, I'm trying to get you to see what I'm doing, but there's just no room here. Okay, tilt you down a little more. You're just going to slice them. That's all you're doing is slicing them across. That's Julienne. When I'm done slicing them, I'll show you what they look like. See, like cooking, I tell you, it's terminologies, talking about it, and showing at the same time, and using the words. So when you can, if you read it and it says Julienne, you say, okay, I know exactly what they want. Julienne, this one next, and this one, and this. Julienne means in strips. That's what it means. I'm putting those in. That's about 1/4 of a cup, so I'm not measuring it, though I took it out. And several, what am I putting in here? Black pepper. Did I get black pepper out? No, I didn't. Okay, they say several turns of black pepper. I don't know how much that would be, so I guess it's put what you think should go in here. Okay, we'll try that. Add the collected juice of the salted tomatoes and the lemon juice. Well, how much lemon juice do they want? 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Where did I put the lemon juice? Oh. And we're going to need white wine vinegar too. I've got to see how much it needs. Okay, we got the lemon juice. I hope you notice I'm making a mess here. My sink, I got my drain board stacked with dishes, and I got dishes in the sink. I got a mess in this house right now. And 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar. Now, do not use the regular white grain that's made from grains. Get the wine. It will make a difference in flavor, believe it or not. If they just say white vinegar, that's one thing. But when they stress white wine vinegar, do make sure you get the white wine vinegar. All right, now you want, what else? I'm reading up to see where I have to go. Now you have to be careful with your olives. The reason we're not adding salt is the olives they recommend are a bit on the salty side. So if you add salt to this, it's going to be too salty. Now if you have olives and you can find them and they don't have a high salt content, by all means go ahead and add salt. So that's why they're not adding it. Okay. Tomato juice? What juice? I didn't get any. You're the one who said to press. Well, I don't have tomato juice. You want me to put half the tomatoes in this? Add half of the tomatoes, and we're going to stir this together. Here is the dressing. The vinaigrette, I should call it. This is the vinaigrette. We're going to let this set just a little bit because we're not done with this yet, believe it or not. To a very low heat and slightly warm. Well, I'm not ready to do that, but I will get the pan out. Tomato juice, by all means pour it into the vinaigrette. I didn't. My tomatoes, I squeezed them pretty dry. All right, now you're going to take this and we're going to put it in a saucepan. This vinaigrette is served warm over your fish and next to your fish. Okay, so I'm just getting it in here so it'll be ready when I get ready to broil my fish. I just want to make sure that I have it. But that is the vinaigrette. Now, how is it served? Now you're just going to slightly, over a low heat, warm this up very slightly. Then remove the garlic from the warm dressing. You'll see the garlic, you just pick it up. Drizzle the if you want it warm, why are you telling me? Chill. Oil over the portion of grilled fish. What you're going to do is you're going to grill or broil your fish, all right? Then you're going to put a teaspoon of the dressing and spoon more generously portion on the side of the fish. And you garnish the edge of, you garnish the edge of each plate with the remaining tomatoes and sprinkle with the remaining basil, because we still got half a basil to chop. So how it will look is going to look like this. Except I don't have bass, so mine's going to look a little different. I have to finish slicing up the basil. I'm going to have to warm that up, and I've got to get my fish going. And that's pretty much how this is done. Okay, because remember I'm using a different fish because I don't have it. But do another 1/4 cup of basil, sliced julienne, and the tomatoes you have left, you sprinkle next to the fish after it's done cooking, and you've poured your vinaigrette over the fish. And then you sit there and sprinkle with the basil on top of the whole thing, and that's how you serve it, with whatever vegetables you want. But that's the serving. I'm going to serve mine with the crescent rolls that I made, and I'm going to use a yellow squash with this vinaigrette and the fish that I've got. Anyway, that's the recipe, and I hope you can find bass, because he says it really goes good on bass, and I don't have bass. Okay, take care and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.